What's up, y'all, and welcome back to Many Thoughts with Dr. T. Here to do another review for the Never Ever Met. Okay, episode 4. I'm sorry this is late. We weren't able to get it out last week. Me and my husband were trying to get our schedules together. So I'm gonna do this one alone, and we'll see. Hopefully, we can watch the episode 5, which aired Saturday. And either I'll do it by myself or we can get our schedules aligned. We'll try to do it as well. So sorry about that. But I still did want to do this one though. So let's get into it. In the first scene, we have Clay, a Clavassier, and Tatiana. So Clay told Tatiana he wanted to try to be vegan, but he keeps eating meat behind her back, and she doesn't care, she just doesn't want him to lie to her. Um, Clay is weird. He's really weird. I don't understand why you're lying for no reason, like, she never even in that first episode when they had their date, that initial date, she didn't put any pressure on him to be vegan. She did I see if she would have said something like, "Well, it's hard for me to see, myself being with a man that's not vegan." Like, I see if she said something like that, I could see how he might have felt some pressure, but she didn't say that. So, he just brought it on himself to say that he was gonna try to be vegan. Um, and being vegan is not something you just try to do. Like, that's hardcore, that's serious. So I don't know why he thought he was just gonna be able to go there and just not eat meat out of nowhere. And then I was wondering maybe if he was doing that to impress her because he still hasn't told her about this 2-month-old daughter he has. So I'm wondering, I was like, maybe he was doing this to get in her good graces, but it kind of backfired on him because of course he wasn't serious. So that was the first scene. And then we go to Jared and Charlie. Yeah. So in this scene, Jared talks about how much he loves Charlie and he can't even describe their dynamic. And to me, this was just really sad because he's playing her, right? Not only is he playing her though, we're in on it. Like, the audience is in on the joke too, which is crazy, and that says a lot about his character. Like, it'd be different if he was also stringing us along. Like, "Oh, yeah, I love Charlie, she's the best," in his confessionals, if he would be like, "Oh, yeah, I love her, Imma really try to make it work," and then maybe at the end of the season say, "Ah, man, we really tried." No, he's, like, laughing with her, with us. Like, "Look, y'all, I'm I'm definitely not gonna be with her. 6 kids, you crazy? I'm just trying to get some sex?" And so I was like, dang, so we're all in on the joke laughing at her. So it just makes it really sad because she's really believing him. But also, like I said on episode 1, she is not working with a full deck because if you tell a man that you had a baby on him, not only that I have these 2 other kids you don't know about, and he's not mad, he's not upset, he has no questions. Something's wrong, Charlie. Hello. So I can't let her off the hook. I mean, I would be like, "Dang, you not mad at me?" What? Any rational person is gonna be upset about that. And, he's perfectly fine, and you don't find anything wrong with that. So, she's delusional, and I think she wants to believe the lie. So and like I said, they're both the only reason they are still on this show is because they are both getting a break from their kids, okay? That's the only reason. So that was that scene. Then we moved to Kiki and Brandon. So they're outside and they are still at odds over the whole Kiki over drinking thing. And this is what happens when neither person in the relationship feels heard, right? You just go in a circle and you can't get out of it, right? So Kiki sees what Brendan is doing as control. She doesn't even see it as a thing about alcohol, right? She sees a larger picture like, "No, you trying to control me because if I give in on this, then there'll be something else." Right? So Kiki's whole thing is he's trying to control me. Whereas Brandon feels like, man, she is not taking any accountability for this, right? And so they're both just going on a circle and neither person wants to give in. So I always say, you know, when you're in a disagreement with a significant other, the easiest thing to do is just to start off by saying, I hear what you're saying, right? Like let them get out whatever they want to get out. And instead of you like what they're doing, like, nah, man, I just be like, oh, I see what you're saying. I understand that. And be sincere about it. Like really try to understand their perspective because my whole thing is, even me and my husband, like, we're on the same team. I'm never trying to intentionally hurt you. You're never trying to intentionally hurt me. We might just be seeing something, seeing a particular situation um, from different perspectives. That's all it is. You know what I'm saying? So what we have to do is sit together. Let me understand how you're seeing this. Like what's shaping your opinion on this, right? And then the same thing, like, okay, I got you. I see what you're saying there. And then he'll understand what I'm saying. Like, okay, now what I'm saying is da 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 da, right? And most of the time when you really come down and really are able to talk it out and you're able to see what's shaping their opinion, you're able to come to some type of agreement or compromise or whatever. But the first step is you got to try to understand, right? Because that's all we really want in this life. We just want somebody to understand us. And if I feel like I'm saying all this stuff, but you're not understanding, like you're not hearing me, you're not seeing where I'm coming from, then we get upset, as we all do. We're humans and we want to go back and forth. And I got to keep saying it because you're not hearing me. So the easiest thing to do is just sit down and just get an understanding. That's the only thing because we're on the same team. We're just seeing something from different perspectives. Let me see how you're seeing it. You see how I'm seeing it. We can come to an agreement. Okay, but they are in a loop and they can't get out because neither one of them wants to budge here. So that's Kiki and Brandon. So then Brandon got upset because again, neither one of them are budging. He goes into the kitchen so he can talk about this issue with the guys. And I didn't like how Brandon's coming off last episode in this. I feel like he's being like really whiny and complaining a lot. And I know this situation is getting on his nerves, but it's like, dang. So he goes into the kitchen to complain to the guys. And then Alicia comes in and Alicia is telling him, like, you need to go talk to Kiki about that. Like, why are you in here talking to the guys? And I felt both of them on this. I felt Brandon because Brandon's like, wait. Your relationship is messed up too. You need to go handle that before you worry about my relationship. So I felt him on that. But I also felt Alicia, because she was right. She did give good advice like, hey, you're not going to solve anything in here with the guys. You know what I mean? You should try to hash this out with Kiki. But I'm like, Alicia, if this is bringing you so much stress, and all of this type of stuff, like, why are you inserting yourself? Like, nobody asked you. Like, you literally walked in the kitchen just to say something. So I'm like, which one is it? Are you stressed and tired of this, or do you like being wrapped up in the drama? Like she could have literally just went upstairs to her room or went to another part of the house, but she just couldn't resist to insert herself. So I don't know what's going on with Alicia. And so coming off of that, so then Brandon goes to tell Irvin, like, hey, Alicia's kind of getting in my business. Like, what's up with that? So of course Irvin's like, I'll go talk to her, right? So let me find that picture. Okay. So Irvin goes to talk to Alicia and ask her, why she was interacting with Brandon that way and getting in their business. But it was so funny because you could tell Irvin's just over it. And he's so agitated with Alicia. Because normally what you would do, you would go over and say, hey, babe, Brandon just came and said that you were saying something about their relationship. Like, what happened? Like, that's the first thing you're gonna do with your significant other. Like, yo, what happened? Explain it to me, so you can understand it from their perspective. Because you're not just gonna take somebody else's word over, your significant other. That's not what Irvin did, and this how I knew he was agitated. He just went in on her, like, "Man, see, that's what I'm talking about. Why you do too much, man." He didn't even try to get an understanding. He just took Brandon's word for it that Alicia was doing too much, and she was. But, I thought he at least could have been more understanding and just trying to get her perspective. So I knew this conversation wasn't gonna go well because he had a very accusatory tone, like, to start off rip, and it didn't go well. He wasn't trying to hear it. He's already got in her head like she does too much. She's bossy. She doesn't let people speak. So he pretty much believed everything Brendan was saying. And as a man, I think his whole thing was I gotta reprimand her. Like I gotta let her know that's not cool. But the way he was saying it and his tone was off, very, very off. Um, but I busted out laughing when Alicia started speaking in tongues. That was hilarious. I was like, she is funny. Um, so again, this conversation goes left. Irvin gets up and walks off, but he kept going on and on about it, right? And that's a pet peeve of mine too. I feel like with my children, then yes, I'm on repeat and I got to tell them over and over and over. But with my husband, if I say like, "Hey, this is bothering me" or whatever, once we come to a conclusion, I'm not going to keep out, and that's what I'm saying. I'm not going to keep going about it. So I don't know. Again, I just think he's over Alicia because they had discussed it. He got up and walked away, and then he's like, "And another thing." For a split second, I wondered. I was like, "Is he playing up for the cameras or something?" Or he could legit just be mad. But he had walked away. It was like a 10-second pause, and he was like, "You just gotta stop doing it." I was like, "She know. Y'all just talked about this." Um, so yeah, Irvin's over it, and this relationship's not gonna work. Okay, so then we go back to Kiki and Brandon, and they're actually outside now with a therapist. And Brandon states that he has had a traumatic past with alcohol, and he's seen how it ruined his mom and stepfather's relationship because evidently his stepfather used to drink so much so that they ended up getting a divorce. And so when I heard that, I was like, "Oh, it all makes sense now why he's so pressed about this whole drinking thing." Because that's some serious trauma. Like he knows firsthand what overdrinking can do. So I can see why when he sees Kiki's behavior, he's like, "Oh no, we're headed down the exact same path." And since Kiki knows him supposedly for 4 years, she obviously would have known this as well. So I'm surprised that she wasn't a little more sensitive um to the situation. You know what I'm saying? Like if I know my husband had some type of situation that happened to him in his past, and I'm doing the exact same thing, you know what I mean? I can't be mad that he's upset or he's anxious about it. So that did explain a lot. And then too, I don't know, but I don't even think Brandon would be that upset and pressed if Kiki wasn't like so sloppy with the drinking. I think if she had those same amount of drinks and was just like cool and chilling, I think it would be cool. But I think the fact that like the next day she was like, "Oh, I'm overheated. I can't get out the bed," and she was like falling on the couch and doing. I think that's the bigger thing. It's not that she's drinking. I think it's that she can't handle the alcohol in my opinion. Maybe he does care both ways, but I think it's more that she's not able to handle it properly and then she's looking crazy, which makes him look crazy. So then Kiki says, the therapist asked Kiki, did something happen where she started drinking a lot? And she says it started with her mom when her mom passed, and she drinks so she can get out of her head because her mom was her best friend. And it's like, dang, I can't even falter for that, I can only imagine, especially, with her mom being her best friend, that has to be terrible knowing she'll never see her again, you know what I'm saying? But I do think that she if she's not already, she definitely needs to see a therapist so that she can kind of work through those emotions. Um, my rules about alcohol, I have 3 things. I feel like you should never use it to numb like she's doing or escape some type of situation that's happening. You need to address that larger situation because alcohol isn't going to solve it either. You know what I mean? Temporarily, but not long term. So I feel like you should never do it to escape or numb. Two, I feel like it shouldn't be a habit, right? So drink randomly. It shouldn't be like, well, every night at 7 or, in my opinion, right? Because that's how you can fall into alcoholism, right? So it should be random. And then 3, I feel like you should always be able to stop. So if somebody came up to you right now and was like, you can't drink for 2 weeks, and something in you was like, oh my God, you got a problem. Okay. So you should always be able to stop with no problem. Right. So those are just three things that I've made up. Because I think, it's fine to have a glass of wine to relax after a long day or, whatever, celebratory or, it's a game or whatever. But, when it starts becoming a habit and when you gotta have it to like I said, numb yourself or, well, when I drink, that's when I can be my true self and I can speak out. And, when you're using it to do something else, then that's different and you might have a problem. So, but I can sympathize with Kiki. I understand that that is tough. And that's probably like a quick coping mechanism that she chose. But I'm hoping being on this show they will encourage her to see a therapist full time. And then the therapist did suggest that Kiki find other ways to relax instead of using the alcohol. Maybe Brandon can help her relax in certain ways. And then she also got on Brandon too and was saying that his anxiety and that his approach stems from anxiety, yeah, and his need to regain control, which I was like, yeah, that's deep. So as you can see, when they both sit down, like I said, and just try to understand, they were able to have a much better conversation. Just having that background, because like that's all I was saying. Like, what's shaping your perspective on this? And then once we got the background, like, oh, my mom, oh, my stepfather had a problem. Like, oh, so that's why. Okay, well, in that case, you know what? I'm gonna make sure da da da. Or you think I'm trying to control you? Nah. Well, you know what? Maybe, and we'll see that later in the episode when they were kind of able to come to a compromise and a conclusion. So at this point, Brandon gets up and Kiki stays. And this is a classic production moment, right? They clearly told the therapist to ask this. She was like, so what about that ex? I'm like, where is this coming from? So Kiki says that she was in a relationship with her ex for 8 years. Then they got engaged. He was her fiance, but she found out that he was cheating on her and he has a couple of baby scares. She's been dealing with him up until 4 months ago. So this means, and she's been dating Brandon for 4 years. So this clearly means there was some overlap there. Um, it's still confusing about the whole 4 years. I don't know what that means. I don't know how you can go 4 years and not see somebody in person. So I don't know if maybe they were friends and just started dating recently, but something about that just doesn't make sense. And I get it, y'all. I understand the entertainment value of all of this, but I'm just like, none of these people are serious. I just feel like we could have had a cast of people that were serious, that didn't have everybody got a baby, a secret baby or a secret ex, and it's just like, what is happening? I don't know what's going on with Kiki. I don't know how you could be dating somebody for 8 years, you get engaged, you find out they're cheating on you, potentially they have babies with other women, and you say, you know what, I'm gonna stay with them. I'm gonna stick beside them. I I'm lost. But maybe we'll learn more as the episodes progress. But I don't even have any notes for that one. I was just like, say what? Anyway, in the next scene, they are all going to Top Golf. And then we can see in the car, Kiki and Brandon seem to have a much better understanding, right? Now that they talk to the therapist, and she's helped them to see each other's point of view. And I love that they even came up with a plan. Like, you know what? We're gonna drink together. Perfect. So I feel like they might be good. Now, once Kiki tells Brandon about this whole ex thing, maybe not, but for now, they're good. All right, so then we go to back to Alicia and Irvin. So Alicia is sitting beside Irvin and she does like a little, a little happy dance, nothing too serious. And he like shakes his head like weird. Y'all, Irvin is so agitated with Alicia. They should just leave the show at this point. You know how somebody's really got on your nerves. It could even be your spouse, a significant other, and you're like, yeah, I don't even want to be around them like right now. That's how Irvin was acting. He was like he didn't even want to, like, what you doing? Like his face, his body expression, all of it was given, I cannot stand you. And I think that at this point, he doesn't see her in a romantic way anymore. Like, I can't remember the last time I've seen them hug or kiss or anything. Um, he's basically just trying to be polite as he can or cordial as he can, but I think he doesn't see it for her anymore. And it really hurt her feelings as well. She's like, "Dang, I didn't even do anything." And I feel her on that. This scene and that last scene, where he was talking to her about the whole kitchen stuff, I feel like she really is trying just a little bit. And Irvin's like, "Nah, man, you do too much. You bossy." Like he just, she might as well hang it up. All right, so then still at Top Golf, Ty and Brittany. So Brittany lets us in that she's irritated that Ty is not paying her any attention. And he continues to be very jokey as well. And I mean, I called it, y'all. I'm gonna have to have a get a slide with like all the things I called in the first episode. And it's confusing to me. And maybe I just can read people more than others. It could be that too, but it only took me the first scene to be like, he jokes too much, like clearly. And he was giving me daddy vibes. I think I called that out too on episode 1. Like we're all in our, how old are they? Yeah, like late 30s and 40s. And this is probably the best he's been dressed, probably because he knew he was taking a picture that day. But if you've seen how he's been dressing and everything, it's just giving old, like 50. I'm not saying 50 is old. That's not what I'm saying. But I don't know, like he has like an old spirit. I don't know. Like if you see all the other guys compared to him, like one of these things is not like the other. You know what I'm saying? It's just immediately it was giving daddy. Like I called that. I was like the flip flops, the socks, the long socks, the long black tee, and the big shorts. And the joking was crazy. He was doing a punchline like every other second. So I'm not sure. They've been dating for 3 months. I think that's a long enough time. Like I felt like Brittany should have picked up on this too. Like if I seen it in like 5-minute episode, you know what I mean? I don't know how Brittany didn't pick up on this, but to her point, she did say that he was saying all the stuff he was gonna do. So I'll give her that. I do remember her saying that. But she should have picked up on the joking because he was joking early on. So she should have known that. Um, yeah, so that was that at Top Golf. She was just really irritated how he was kicking it with everybody but her, talking to everybody but her. So we leave that there. And then we go, so that's Top Golf. Then we go back to the house for the last 2 scenes. So this is Tatiana and Clay. So they no, no, no. Okay, so they're still at Top Golf. Yeah, and Tatiana is still mad about the vegan thing, right? And see, this is the problem. When you have an issue with your significant other and you don't bring it up, it just starts boiling and festering inside, okay? And what's gonna happen is it's gonna be something real simple and you're gonna like explode and end up looking crazy. And that is what happened with Tatiana, okay? Because what happens is you'll end up being, I don't know, at dinner and your spouse is like, "Can you pass the ketchup?" And then out of nowhere, because you've been letting it fester, you'll just be like, "No, I can't pass you the ketchup." And then he like, "What just happened?" So that's why you just gotta go ahead and say it and get it out. So it's been building up with Tatiana, and I'm sorry, y'all. I get calling my phone. It keeps building up with Tatiana, and she has not said anything. So this was her explosive moment where everybody was like, "Whoa, what just happened?" Um, she went off on him, called him out his name, was cutting him off, like walked away, like it was real crazy. I did think that was immature of her. How old is she? Yeah, 31. Imma say that was kinda immature. I think she shoulda addressed this before they even left the house, before they even came to Topgolf. That's the worst when you out in public and you and your significant other spouse is, like, into it, but you gotta, like, act like everything okay. She shoulda addressed this before they left so they can have a good time, you know? So she was already feeling away, um but they did end up handling it the next day. So the next day, they talked about it, and, I thought that was a really good conversation, and they shoulda just did that from the start. But yeah, they handled it fine. Again, Clay is weird. I don't even know if he really understood where she was coming from or if he was just saying that to get past it. 'Cause he was like, "Yeah, you know what? I was wrong. I shouldn't have done it. That was real crazy of me." And I don't know. I can't tell. Like you say, he lies so much. I don't know if he was just trying to like move past that. So let me just tell her what she want to hear type of thing. Um, and then he was saying that he thought it was a joke, which I could see that as well. Maybe like he was telling her that he wanted to be vegan, but he kind of thought it was funny to like try to sneak and eat behind her back. So I don't know if this was all like a funny game to him and she didn't. Maybe he thought when she found out she would think it was funny too. But to her, it was deeper than just the vegan thing. It was like, "You're lying and you're trying to make me look stupid." So it was larger for her. Just like with Kiki, it wasn't about the alcohol, it was about the control. With Tatiana, the same thing. It wasn't even about the vegan. It was like, "You trying to make me look crazy. Everybody's in on this joke but me. That's not funny to me." So I think that's what it really was about, with her. So anyway, they were able to talk it out. I don't know why Clay still hasn't told her about this baby. 'Cause we're on episode what, 4? I mean, I don't know how many episodes it is, but I'm like, when are you gonna say something? There's never gonna be a right time. And but don't you worry, because production, they gonna watch. They gonna do something if he doesn't hurry up and tell her. Like the season gonna be over. And, it's gonna be so bad. They have no chance because if you notice every single scene, she's just like, "Yeah, I don't like liars. Like, if you lying about this, what else could you be lying about? I just don't like liars. I don't like liars. I don't like liars." So I'm like, this is gonna be crazy once he tells her. She's gonna have absolutely no trust in him. And then the last scene, we come back to Ty and Brittany. So they are all at the pool. Ty is grilling for everybody. And again, Brittany hadn't said nothing. So this is about to be her explode and look crazy moment. Um, so she asked him if he could make her a drink. Okay. Um, which I, I see it both ways. 'Cause they ended up so he's like, "Nah, let me do let me get everybody situated, then Imma get it for you," you know what I'm saying? Which made perfect sense. But in this scenario, of course, Brittany is so upset that he's not showing her any attention. She did that on purpose to see if he would get something for her, right? So she's like, "Hey, can you go make me a drink like now?" So her vision was kinda clouded because she was so upset. So I think had this not been an issue, I think obviously she would have read the room like, "Oh, okay, he's cooking for everybody. He's doing all of this. Let me get my own drink, or I'll just wait. Or man, you know what? I'm gonna just get him a drink, actually." But I think because she was so upset, she was like, "Let me see if I ask him if he gonna bring me this drink." And yeah, so that was crazy. She blew up, he blew up. Again, not gonna work in my opinion. I feel like when you really like somebody, right, you're going to be like, "Hey, babe, you're going to want to be around them. Hey, you want a drink? Hey, come over here." You're gonna want to talk. So the fact that he doesn't want to do any of those things, I'm wondering if he's even into her or attracted to her, is what I'm thinking. Because sometimes people are in relationships for convenience sake, right? You're a warm body. I need somebody to talk to, somebody to go out with. All right, yeah, we can date. So I feel like maybe it's a situation like that because he is not showing her any interest. And then anytime he does communicate with her, like I said, it's a punchline, it's a joke. And so it's giving homie vibes. Like they would probably be good friends, but I'm not seeing the romance at all. Like I haven't seen one thing. Um, and I don't have to date him, so it don't matter, but like I said, to me, he's just giving, like a old school vibe or something, I don't know. So, yeah, so that was episode 4, and, it's getting good, so me and my husband are gonna watch episode 5, and then, we definitely will come back and, like I said, either it'll be me or I'm hoping we can do it together so we can review episode 5, then we'll be caught up and we'll be good to go for episode 6. But never ever met, so I'm enjoying it. Like I said, I understand the entertainment value of it all. It is funny and all, but I wish we would have had more serious people than to have so much baggage. But anyway, we'll see you guys in the next episode. See ya.